All right, Jeff, you ready for Thursday night football? We're going to have the Packers, and they're heading west to go take on the 49ers, and it's going to be a rematch of the of last year's NFC Championship game. Now, look, just a little caveat here for everybody. It is Wednesday, and as far as we know, this game is a go. But we know that there are COVID concerns. Kendrick Bourne, he tested positive for the virus for the 49ers. So hopefully this game still happens, everybody's safe, and it all works out. So we think it's going to happen, though, and that's what people on the talking heads on TV I see are saying. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it, okay? Now, the Packers are favored by 6 points, and the point total is set at 49.5 right now. The Niners, they struggled against Seattle. They lost the game 37-27. They couldn't really get much going. And then Nick Mullins, the great, came in, and he had 2 touchdowns and threw for 238 yards. So that was some silver lining, I guess, for them. But yeah, they lost Jimmy G. And so him and George Kittle are both placed on the injured reserve. And that basically leaves the 49ers absolutely gutted. Okay, none of the offensive starters that played in the last time these two teams saw each other in last year's NFC Championship game, none of them, no offensive starters, will be playing in this game. Okay, so they've been ravished. The Packers, they lost to the Vikings despite being 6-point favorites, and Dalvin Cook just ran all over them. It was insane. I had him on fantasy football. He got me like 40-something points. It's fantastic. He had 4 touchdowns. I don't even know. Like, did they not know that Dalvin Cook is really good? And what they think? Kirk Cousins was going to chop him up? I don't know, but it's insane. Jeff, can the Pack get back on track? Can the Pack get back on track? Or can the Niners, Nick Mullins somehow pull off a defeat against Aaron Rodgers?
Well, first of all, here's a news flash that the San Francisco 49ers, as beat up as they are, don't have anybody even close to as good as Dalvin Cook is. And that's good, first of all, for the Packers, because they ain't going to have to try and tackle him. Because when their defensive backs tried to tackle Dalvin Cook, it looked like he was playing against grade school kids. I think that this is really too much to ask for a 49er team that has lost player after player after player. You mentioned the tremendous stat that no offensive player who started the championship game last year is going to start this game. And, you start going through that list of guys that is either out or traded, and it's an impressive bunch of football players. Now your heart and soul in Kittle is on the sidelines. I think it's way, way, way too much to ask of Nick Mullins to go in there and score more than 14 or 18 points in this game. Again, you talk all the time, and I think it's really well taken that you don't like to bet against angry quarterbacks. Well, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most prideful guys in the National Football League, and he was embarrassed by the performance last week at home against the Vikings. And I understand they've got running back issues. They don't know if Aaron Jones is going to play. They may have to play a receiver at running back. I don't care. I think the Packers will bounce back in this. I think San Francisco's too beat up, and Green Bay has too much to play for. And I'm going to take Green Bay.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has had some very ugly games this season, or some embarrassing losses. It's bizarre and it's weird, and you wonder what the heck is going on with that front office, and that they didn't address helping him, I guess, a little bit more in the offseason. But definitely not betting against Aaron Rodgers either. He's going to win this game. But let me tell you, okay, Nick Mullins is, I got to say, I think he's one of the best 5 backup quarterbacks in this league. And granted, it's been a small sample size over the past 2 years, but I've seen that dude come in and he can capitalize in the red zone. And, it's a guy, it's a name that a lot of people just don't know, but Shanahan knows how to get the best out of people, and he definitely gets the best out of Nick Mullins. I think that this game is closer than Vegas wants you to think. I actually think that the Niners at home could cover, but I'm not taking them to win. So are you taking the Packers with the spread, though?
Well, again, I'm going to take the Packers on the money line. I'm not going to take the Packers on the spread.
Okay.
I think that I agree with you. I really agree with you on that one. And you're right about Nick Mullins. I mean, let's give Nick Mullins some love here because when Nick Mullins a little bit like Nick Foles. When they get hot, they're
Yeah.
streak shooters. When they get hot, they can light you up. And, but they can also throw untimely interceptions. And I just don't know if they've got enough around him. And, great point too, Rachel, about the Packers front office because they had a chance to bring Fuller from the Texans. The Texans put him out there and they couldn't agree on compensation. Bottom line is you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to be what Tampa Bay's doing and what Seattle's doing, all these
Right.
teams, Kansas City's doing. You got to keep loading the wagon because you lose one player in the next 6 weeks and it could all fall to pieces on you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a difference between the teams that you and I are expecting to win a championship this year and then the teams like Green Bay that just seem to kind of, winning a Super Bowl, no rush. No rush. It just that's kind of the vibes that I get from them. No rush. We're good. We're good. You're still gonna, show up and buy our jerseys and make us a lot of money. We're okay. But I digress. So we're both taking the Packers money line. We think that it's very possible that the Niners could cover the spread. And really quick before we go on this game right here, the point total. How do you feel about 49.5? You like it or no?
I think it's too high. I really do think it's
Mm-hmm.
too high. So, I would take the under. And I think, Yanni made a good point last week when he was with us as a guest that it started to top out now that it was over early in the season. And now you
Mm-hmm.
start to see the under come back into play. And I think it's more, I agree with his point there. And I'm going to take the under in this one.
Okay, I'm gonna go against you right there. So we'll have something to talk about next week whenever we find out what the results were. But I'm going with the over. If my memory proves right, and my memory is very bad, but if my memory proves right, I think the first game we ever saw Nick Mullins playing last year was against the Packers, and I think he threw for like 3 touchdowns. I think both defenses have been up and down. I feel very confident in the over on this one, so I can't wait to talk about that next week with you, Jeff. Guys, let us know in the comments below. Do you think that the point total's too high, too low? What's your money on? Nick Mullins or Aaron Rodgers? Never thought I'd ask that question in my life.